take this Duramax for a little rip. So a little bit of an update. It's been about, oh my goodness, 2 months, July, I don't even know, 3 months since I started this project. I've been driving the Hummer for 2 months now. Very, very minor issues, and I freaking love it. Best build I've ever done. Most favorite truck to ever drive, and I mean, listen to that. Like, how can it get any better than that, right? She didn't really haul ass over there, and that's the one last thing that I'm having an issue with is I actually had to flash it to factory tuning from my EFI Live. She goes like snot on the EFI Live tune, but I'm having one issue where I'm getting an underboost code for some reason. I've swapped out the turbo. The turbo is fine. Everything's good. It's I think it has something to do with my intake piping. I'll see if I can get a picture or video of how under the hood. Something there is just not quite working right with the mass airflow, I think, so I might have to get a bigger pipe. I don't want one of those cold air filters just hanging around collecting all that hot air, so I might have to build a custom intake. Right now I have it matched with the Hummer factory intake with the Duramax intake pipe that goes to the turbo, and had to find where to put the mass airflow sensor, and that's been the hardest struggle for the last couple months. But I mean, I've put about 6,000 kilometers on this thing with zero hiccups other than a reduced power code restricting me to 2,000 RPM. I went and picked up a Hummer, towed another Hummer from the Crete, Alberta, back down to Lethbridge, which is 12 hours one way. No issues. Such a blast to drive. Yeah, it's just been amazing. I love this thing. The only thing I'm noticing is I hate factory tuning on a Duramax. I haven't driven a factory tuned Duramax in probably like 6 or 7 years, because first thing I do when I buy a truck, I tune it, or I order a tune at least. And so now I've got decent power, but way more than the 6 liters. 6 liters garbage. I can't even believe they ever put that thing in the Hummer. But yeah, we'll maybe do a couple driving videos or a couple more detailed videos on this, but man, this thing's a blast. I love it.
3 hours later.
So finally got my tune from Schultz Diesel Sports, and she is running great. We just messed with the mass airflow settings a little bit. We got 110 horse tune, and it's running great. So much more fun than when it's stock. I don't know if you can, how well you're going to be able to hear this, but let's see. Oh yeah, that's fun. So we're just on a little road trip here. Beautiful day, September 30th today, and just a little pit stop here in Vauxhall on my way to Vermilion. It's about a 5-hour drive. Going to pick up another Duramax project. I figured it was a pretty good time to answer some questions, make some videos about stuff in my first video that I wasn't very clear on, or that I skipped. I ended the video pretty quick there because right at the end there, that's when I started working on the wiring on the Hummer, and I tell you what a pain. That I'm hoping the next one's going to be easier. but that was a lot of figuring out and diagrams to compare, and yeah, just to do it all right. We don't have any lights on the dash. We have no issues. Four-wheel drive works perfect. Two-wheel drive, four low. The only thing I haven't hooked up yet is the rear diff locker, which I don't really care for, but I mean, I may as well do it right. And tap shift, and so that's coming up here pretty quick. I'm probably going to do one last video, probably a part 3, and then I'm going to go a little bit more in detail with some videos about my rad stack and my battery relocation and a couple other things. So I'm just going to make a couple of videos here about things that I think I should have clarified in the first video there. At the beginning of my previous video, I was talking about how I was going to cram the LBZ rad stack in here, and I was really hoping for that without a body lift, and all the research I ended up doing was telling me that there's no way I was going to fit that in there. So I ended up without a body lift anyways, and I personally despise body lifts. I think they look ridiculous, and I like lift kits and all, no big deal, but just the idea of a body lift, I didn't like it. So I ended up picking up an LLY rad stack, which fit, but still I think I spent probably 15 hours just on getting the rads to work and making them fit nice. I still haven't even prettied up the fabrication I did there. I don't want to make any videos until I make that nice and pretty. I gotta build a fan shroud for it yet, but yeah, that's it. You can't really use that tall of a rad stack. They're about 3 or 4 inches too tall. I also mentioned I was gonna possibly eliminate the hood latch, which I did. No regrets. You don't actually need that thing there. I already know why they have it there. You've got those latches on the side. They work perfectly. Okay, so we just stopped for some breakfast. Amazing food here, Cactus Corner in Alberta. I left the front diff in there from the Hummer. Worked perfect, bolt on. The only reason you would need the Duramax front diff is just honestly for personal preference, I believe, because it's just the front drive shaft is just free spinning in the transfer case, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like if you have a pickup truck, a half ton with like auto 4-wheel drive or something like that, they're always just spinning there and just ready to engage. The clutch is in the transfer case, so it's the exact same setup as that. Front diff, left it, worked perfectly fine. I have no desire to ever change that. What else? Rear drive shaft. Drive shaft is pretty simple as well. We just took the yoke from the Duramax. The front yoke from the Duramax, and had it welded to the rear yoke of the original Hummer, so that we could just use the Hummer rear diff, which is still in there as well. So we've got 410 gears in here as well. I might actually go to 37-inch tires because it's a little bit of a low gear for me. I'm used to 373s of a regular Duramax pickup truck, and so we might do that yet. So I got my frame blasted and painted. It was only a couple $1,000 and worth every single penny. I mean, you can see in the pictures, it's beautiful. I mean, why not have a perfectly restored truck while you're this far in it? These Hummer Duramax swaps, they're selling for high dollar anyways, so you kind of don't really care about money at that point. And it's worth every penny to get your frame blasted and painted. So fuel tank. The first video I made, I mentioned I was just going to leave it. I just closed off the factory lines. Have had no issues yet. The only issue I've had is trying to fit a diesel nozzle into the factory Hummer. I don't know what you would even call it, the little outlet where you put your fuel cap on. It doesn't work. It's too small. I'm going to put a Duramax one on there as well, just so that I can get it in there. I've had no issues with fueling up. I can fuel up just as quick as any other size pickup truck, diesel, and so that's not a concern at all. So I believe most of you that are going to be watching a video like this, you're either super bored and you're just scrolling, or you are desperately searching to find out if you can convert your own Duramax or your own Hummer into a Duramax. And so the big answer to that is yes, absolutely you can do it. Is it easy? No. It is not easy. And is it worth it? Absolutely. I can't believe I drove this thing for a month with the 6-liter in here. This is probably going to hurt some feelings and ruffle some feathers. I really don't care. The 6-liter is garbage. I can't believe they ever put that in here. And the 4L65 that most of them come with, I believe that's a transmission in there. What a joke. Like, that's a 4L60 just with a different name. I can't believe it. I have zero worries about this thing now. This thing is going to go hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kilometers with no issues. I have no doubt about that. If I keep it or sell it, I'm not worried about it. So much fun, so much torque with the Duramax. The 6-liter was 25 liters per 100, whatever you do the math with your miles per gallon.
25 Impegus highway. What? Impegus. Impegus. Impegus? Impegus. Impegus? 25 Impegus. I'm saying it right, but it just doesn't sound familiar.
And that was what I was averaging when I was trying to drive like grandma. And now that I'm romping on this thing, I mean, right now I'm going down the highway at 80 miles an hour, 130 kilometers an hour. And my average, let's see if I can turn the camera here. I reset it when I left home on this trip, so that's been about 200-300 kilometers. And this is what we're averaging. I don't know if you can see that very well or how it's zooming there, but 11.5 liters per 100. I think that's like 21 miles per gallon, somewhere around there. Whatever, I'll do the math later. Yes, you can do it. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. You can half-ass it and hack it all together, and it'll be a quicker. I mean, I'm at 60 hours right now, roughly. I've been driving it for about 2 or 3 months and just slowly doing a couple little things here and there. I probably, to get this thing perfectly pristine, I've probably got another 40 hours left in it. And I want to make this thing perfect, especially if I'm going to sell it. I want to make sure I can actually compete with other guys out there who are doing these builds, and we'll see where it takes me. But I love this. I know one thing is, even if I do sell this thing, I'm getting right back on it. I'm building another one. I'd really like to try the SUT out. That little bit of box space would be really nice to have sometimes, even though, you know, all the room back there is kind of nice as well. And I've got a family, so if we take it for a drive, I can fit everybody in here. So I love it. I hope to do some awesome road trips this year, and possibly in the winter, maybe even do a road trip down to Mexico or Vegas or something, because I just love driving this thing. It just drives so nice. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any suggestions on anything else I should cover in my next video. Probably be another week or two at least.